Warning. What you are about to hear goes against traditional romantic counsel expressed by friends, family, and Instagram memes and quotes. Open-mindedness is advised.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. And welcome again to another edition of the Senate. I am your co-host, Neil Hoyt. And here I have my brother from another mother, Derek Marshall. What's up, Derek? First things first. You know how we do. Saw some nice music. Um, we had Gin and Tonic, which is an old G Syndicate staple. Beyond, which is my favorite G Syndicate track. And then we have Woman, and then we had someone playing Steel Pan. So Derek, you could plug all the actors involved in that, all the people that helped make that, and let's get into it.
Yeah, man, that was the last person you would have heard would have been Hashim Durant, as the Americans would say Durant, Hashim Durant. We say Durant in Barbados, on Steel Pan, playing a tune called Chemistry by G Syndicate, written by Rachel Rowe right here in Barbados. So that was all local music that you would have heard just now. As usual, guys, you can find out about G Syndicate at gsyndicate6.com. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all at G Syndicate 6. Feel free to go and check out the music, check out the stuff. Show out the guys in G Syndicate right now. Kiamal, as usual. Vaden, Brett, Kiamal, and of course, sorry, I mentioned Kiamal already. Antonio, and my guy Mark, as usual. He did a virtual performance on Sunday, and that went very, very well. So we're feeling happy about that. We wanted to get in a rehearsal, but tomorrow's a bank holiday, so that's not going to happen. Since we're supposed to be home. Supposed to be. I hope you guys are paying attention to that. But yeah, we can't get that done. So unfortunately, we had to leave that out. But can't wait to get cranking again. New Tides, it was Vaden's first performance with us. Coming out to the lockdown and everything. So that was good to get that under his belt. He did very well. So shout out Vaden Jones. Yeah, man. That's it for me. How about you, man? How things looking on your side?
I good, man. As you can see, I here dressing a bit to impress. There's a reason for that. There's a different reason for that. We will get into that. But yeah, man, I'm good. All things considered. I actually forgot that tomorrow is a bank holiday. Good night to everybody that's joined us. Life is good. I can't complain. My little one went to school today, so he came back home very good. He was very excited to go simply because he just stir crazy at home. So life is good, man. I don't have any complaints. What about you? How was everything?
Today is my first day back on the plantation, even if it is a virtual plantation, but back out. But grateful to have a job, so can't complain about that.
Really can't.
Yeah, I see the people in the chat gave me some talk for the swag, but hey, the swag is up. Are we going to continue to take it up, guys? Philip got to talk for my scarves. Don't worry about the scarves. You can see them in the coming weeks. Again, continue to give you some more.
Reason. Yeah, so there's a reason for the swag, people. Like I told Derek before, if we can go in flames, if we can go viral for the wrong reasons, and when they can clip me, and they say these two men here talking a bunch of junk and whatever, at least I can look sexy. And my mind can look sexy. And we can get on with the shit pretty swag, right? So why am I saying that? Now, as you all know, the day before a live stream, my man Derek goes on his personal social media, Facebook, and he does post something to get the conversation going. And he presented this to me quite literally. When was this? This was over the weekend. He would have sent this to me, and I was like, "All right, no problem. I got wear I got a dress because I know this one gonna be hot. At least that's what we think. But I can let Derek read his post as well as give any commentary, insights, or anything like that to get the conversation rolling. And as we normally do, we would just jump in. You guys are always welcome. Thank you again for joining us and for your engagement and for helping us to grow this little community that we're going. So over to you, Pastor Marshall.
Yes, sir. Let me just say, first of all, guys, welcome. Good night. I see people in early. As always, going to like the page, invite your friends to like the page. Again, we're trying to get the other side out there a little bit. So tell your friends, bring them. We have a good discussion on every Tuesday and Thursday night. So bring your friends to the discussion. Like the page, follow the page. We're on Instagram now, the Senate Podcast 246. So give us a follow. I'll actually pause for like 2 seconds so you can do that. Just look for the Senate Podcast.
If you say you didn't hear it there, I have it here right here on the graphics below the chat, so don't come in the lights. Yep.
See it. The Senate Podcast. Go give us a follow on IG. You can check us out. We're on YouTube as well. Check us out. And having said that, we dive into this week's discussion. And the question was, has entertainment, music and romantic comedies in particular, normalized trauma bonding and given us unrealistic expectations and warped perceptions of relationships? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Has entertainment, music, and romantic comedies in particular given us a warped perception and unrealistic expectations of relationships? I found it interesting. I had conceptualized this topic a couple of weeks ago, and then over the weekend, I heard a song called "Toxic Love," right, by Patrice Roberts and Ricardo.
Oh yeah.
Right, real nice tune. Yeah, real nice tune. But within the context, the lyrics and stuff like that, it talk about you being crazy and this body being crazy, and it kind of sounded like we fight and do some stuff that really into kosher, and then we settle down for a day or two, we come back together and we do it all over again, and it makes you wonder. It has, because we absorb a lot of what we know from television, right? Whether we want to admit that or not. So, you know me, I go and I do a little digging, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whether we choose to admit it or not, most of our expectations about love and relationships have been influenced by Hollywood, right? And I found 8 ways in which Hollywood has been able to kind of influence us. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you all guys all 8 one time, and then we're going to move into them one by one, right? So, the first thing we got, movies train us to substitute emotional intensity for emotional quality, right? I'm going to read that again. Movies train us to substitute emotional intensity for emotional quality. That's one. Don't worry, folks. We can come back to them and we can go through them one by one. 2, the perfect person will magically take interest in us because they see the real person inside of us, right? The perfect person will magically take interest because they see the real you inside, right? 3, it pushes the concept of love at first sight. And we've all heard about that. I don't want to repeat that. 4, love is proven by ignoring explicit rejection. Love is proven by ignoring explicit rejection. I know ladies can understand some of this. 5, giving large unrequested gifts is a way to make amends. 5, giving large unrequested gifts is a way to make amends. I saw somebody, I think it was Dion, she mentioned that. I don't know if Dion's in the chat already, but she mentioned that in the comment section. 6, pursuing someone that is already in a relationship is romantic. Pursuing someone that is already in a relationship is romantic. Here in the Caribbean, we call it horny, but we can talk about that in another little bit, right? 7, suffering, dependence, and self-sacrifice are viewed as indicators of love. Suffering, dependence, and self-sacrifice are viewed as indicators of love. And 8, a romantic relationship is the solution to the problem of life. A romantic relationship is the solution to the problem of life. So we can get in it tonight, right? We can get in it tonight. Because I figure, it's a lot of that stuff we kind of know about, but probably not. We haven't probably just dug down deep enough. We learned about that stuff at a superficial level, just at the surface. And I figure it'd be important for us to kind of dig down, right? I see Terence here saying that song is a life story. Yes, it may be a life story, and that might be depending on how you look at it. That may or may not be unfortunate. Again, depending on your perspective, right? So let me get into this here. Number one, movies train us to substitute emotional intensity for emotional quality, right? Hollywood romances live at the extremes, right? It's generally a case of going from head over heels in love to separated reason to reunited and it feels so good. Yeah. To happily ever after and credits. That is the general way a romantic comedy goes, right? And this gives rise to statements such as if you're quarreling, it shows that you care. Yeah. I'm sure that and some of the things that we can point out, I'm sure we can all identify with, especially as Caribbean people, right? I mean, you look at something like, say, a Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet is a story about two 30-year-olds who've known each other for 5 days. 5 days. And decide to commit suicide when they can't be together. So it's suggesting the Hollywood romances, romantic comedies and stuff like that, they kind of set up this whole idea that relationships are built on and driven by drama. Right? So I think we're gonna leave it out there and let me kind of talk through that a little bit with the people in the chat before we move on to number 2. Right? Yeah.
Right. So this is my thing, right? I see Damien. Good night, Damien. Thanks for joining the discussion. Damien said it was skewed long before the entertainment industry. Fairy tales with Prince Charming, Mills, and Boone et al. Expectations were always programmed subtly. Become a chicken or the egg debate. Did the art imitate life or did life imitate art? No, that was a very interesting. I mean, we could go around that mulberry bush all day long, all episode long. But the point is that at some point, clearly it was happening for centuries before we had television, movies, etc., and the content we have today. So basically, stories were romanticized, right? Whether it is an exaggeration or an embellishment of what has already taken place, or if they were just created to give young people and young lovers or whatever, consider it marketing for that time, 1500s, you know what I mean? A bard trying to go getting tips and whatever in the local taverns. He comes up with a nice ballad of the knight in shining armor, besting the dragon for the lady's hand in marriage, right? So it's time immemorial. Things have always been kind of written about the perfect love. Fine. And while at that time there was a balance, I think, where you would have had those stories, those ballads, people understanding the minutia of the relationships, because it wasn't like now where you can get divorced quick, lickety split once you got the money and everything like that. But it was a case where, shoot, you pretty much got married before you had sex anyway, and you, for better or worse, you didn't live long anyhow. You lived to what, 40? And you drop down dead and keep it moving, right? But today, obviously, we have more content coming at us instantly. I can even think growing up in the decade that I grew up, the 80s. The love, right? Movies. I was big into movies. My dad used to rent video cassette VHS. Those, I'm not all the way of age, so VHS, and I've watched movies from as far back as the 30s, 80s, whatever at that time, and it instilled something in me. And my parents used to kind of exemplify that as well when things were good. My father used to dote on my mother, and my mother used to dote on my father. It was a mutual thing. They shared responsibilities for the most part, etc. So I took a bit from them, and I also took a bit from Hollywood because I didn't know any better. You watch a sitcom, you see what Cosby Show, Claire, and Dr. Huxtable with their how many other children. You know, they kiss at the end of every episode because they're showing that they still love no matter what disagreements or anything comes about with it. You had Family Matters. You had all of these shows that showed us even let's get contemporary. We had Friends. We had the Ross and Rachel storyline. Everybody wanted Ross and Rachel to be together. We felt better when they were together. We didn't like when they were apart. And these romantic comedies, these stories that are now coming to us now, as Derek was saying, it does give us an unfair, unrealistic sense of what's going on, right? Of how it goes. The music, crescendos. You know,
Credits.
my man does his whatever he does. He kisses the woman, looks in her eyes. They say something cheesy, kind of funny. They go off down the stairs and they ride off into the sunset. We assume they live happily ever after. That is the implication, right? So, yes, I think that these stories have, for as long as they have been recorded media, through words, people have always given a false notion of love. Shoot, when my dad was mentioning it, Romeo and Juliet, when I read that back in school, it was like, that he do what? And then she do what? She wake up and see the my dad and what? Like, and these are teenagers. You understand? So what has happened is, and the thing is, humans, I find humans operate in hope. We hope. We have hope. We have faith. We need something to hope for. We need something to cling on. That's why religion is so big. That's why we put our faith in whomever we can that we can relate to and identify with. So we are creatures that part and parcel are filled with hope. And we want that perfect relationship. Women want to be chaste. Women want to have that man go through fire and prove his worth and his love because men don't do that. Men are emotionally closed off. So if you best the dragon, he would do anything to conquer that beast for your love. That's what we like. Right. Amen. Amen. To be honest, we watching that because we want the love at any night. So we romantic comedies and stuff like that. There's some I like, but it really ain't for us men. And it's funny because I don't know if you can make this if you agree with this correlation, but we all know that women pretty much drive the economy in terms of their spending power, right? When we look at things that are marketed, for the most part, they're marketed to women and with women in mind, for the most part. When you look at romantic comedies, when you look at music, when you look at all this content that is around, what is it to do? It is to help reinstill a kind of unrealistic thing for love and have both men and women in stuff and act like, I want to carry you on a candlelit dinner. I want to put roses all around I want to take you to Tahiti. We want to do these things to show because we see that in a movie somewhere.
Yeah.
We hear somebody is hearing it in this story. So I can let you continue now in terms of talking about, I guess you want to read the chat, but we read the chat and then you will go forward. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. My 2 cents on it is it's unrealistic. It is not feasible. Life is about hard work. So is relationships more than anything else. Romantic relationships are explicitly hard work, daily, almost minutely. Hard work. So if music ain't a crescendo, I am not going to punch your wicked boyfriend in his face to prove to you that he really is not as worthy as I am to be in the space for your love. I am not going to fight, as my man Derek says, Bowser. I ain't doing it. Because at the end of the day, you could come get me too. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You understand? So there you could take it from there.
Yeah,
we could keep going from there, but yeah.
I hear the chat. Terencia is saying no such thing as perfect. Lust at first sight. So true. You should trust me, we get into this. Damien is saying it was skewed long before the entertainment industry. Fairy tales with Prince Charming, Mills and Boons, et al. Expectations were always programmed subtly. Becomes a chicken or the egg debate. Did the art imitate life or did life imitate art? Terencia wants to know what movies I'm watching. They died. They're bad choice. Don't worry, I can show you good choices now. Claire saying she reads. Good night, Claire. Good to see you. Dennis is
Good night,
asking what's
Claire.
going on here. Good night to you, Dennis. Terence, art imitates life. Tanya no reach. Good night, Tanya. We're talking about Edward gave up his swan for the woman he loved. Tara says facts. Tanya says so much facts, and he could have been a literal king. Steve is saying he was king for a few months. Correct, and he remained the outcast of his family because of it. Charles and Camilla, he always wanted her. No look, so it shows that it is possible. Cherish, good to see you again. Night, night. Good to see you.
Good night. Good night. Thanks for coming through.
Teresa says Stevie never had a coronation. He abdicated before. Yeah, that's right. Steve noted I guess I got that fact skewed. Thanks. Reading up on it recently, where there's most of the royalty in Europe then and now somehow related. That is a fact. And that is across countries, right? They're all related.
Mm.
So no kind of romantic comedy ain't for men. Nah, there must be one that was worth watching. I'll tell you why not. I'll tell you why it's difficult for men to process the romantic comedy. We can get into it. Steve, nope, Taylor Perry got us jaded. We can talk about you too. The Beauty and the Baker. All right. Good night, Dion. Good to you. I think
Good night. Good night, Dion.
you have to be careful of not going to the extreme with hard work versus romanticism. There's room for romance as well. Yes.
Of course.
I had a priest that would tell you that everything must be ruled by the equal parts emotion and intellect. Right. Rest in peace, my guy, Frank Marshall, Canon Frank Marshall, right? Or Dean Frank Marshall, right? Right. So let me talk about these movies, right? And as I said, it's usually a case of you fall in love, then they get separated for whatever reason, then they get reunited, and then happily ever after, right? Only yesterday, I stumbled across Nobody's Fool, starring Tiffany Haddish, Tika Sumpter, and the guy Omari Hardwick, right? Omari Hardwick is playing. He owns a coffee shop literally next door to Tika Sumpter's office, right? She is in a long distance thing, online thing with a guy. She's never seen this guy before. She comes into the coffee shop every day. Every day, well, Mike Hardwick's character gives her a coffee, gives her a rose. Every day. Every day. I want you guys to really consider how, I don't know what's the word to use for that, how unrealistic that is, right? And let me break it down within a Barbadian context. Let's say a rose costs about $12, right? The rose costs about $12. And this dude is buying a rose because he likes this girl, right? She is uninterested in him, but he likes her. So every day, as God saying, as the old people will say, he gives her coffee that she pays for, yes. But he gives her also a rose that she hasn't paid for, that she hasn't requested. At the end of the week, that's $60. And in 1 week. So immediately, you see how the romance kind of influences people to do some stuff that really and truly ain't particularly feasible, right? Throughout this movie, he's been pursuing, she's interested in her online situation. It turns out it's a catfish situation.
Oh yeah, I did watch that. Yeah.
Coming out of that, she decides she's going to give Hardwick's character a chance. All right, they sleep together, and immediately upon the completion of the act, she asks him to leave. Immediately, as in my dude trying to cuddle, and she's like, "Can you go now?"
Yeah, thanks for the memories.
Yeah, so my man packs up his stuff, heads for the door. Her girlfriend calls her. She's talking to her girlfriend about what just went down, and saying that she doesn't really even like him because he was an ex-con and stuff like that. Unbeknownst to her, he is actually in the room listening to this conversation. So he hears what she says. All right. So they were together, they've separated. What makes this even more interesting is that they come back together. She explains herself, her situation, whatever. They get together, they're going out, they're dating, they're actively dating. Okay, turns out now, catfish dude was actually a real dude, but he has some identity theft going on, played by my guy Chris Rock. Chris Rock has stolen his identity. Okay, so the longest real guy. He appears at her office to sweep her off her feet. She is like, shoot, well, bump or Mary Hardwick. This is the dude that I was interested in before. She goes out with him, kicks my dude to the curb. So they separated again. Right? Cool. She goes on a date with this dude from online. The date is terrible. He is as self-absorbed as they come. The date is terrible. So now, after having that terrible experience, she now recognizes that, hey, the dude that I was checking that was literally next door to my office is actually a good dude. And she proceeds, yeah, he's actually better than this dude that didn't have any prior convictions and was, had all the big job and all that stuff. And she wants to pursue that. But she had already told this guy, kick rocks, because she was going out with an online guy. So here we have a situation now where she turns up at his house, puts on some boy cement, and she's standing in the rain singing and stuff like that. After he plays stubborn for a little bit, then he decides he's going to come up. They reunite again, happily ever after, credits. You know what I mean? And generally speaking, that's how the romantic comedy goes. And it kind of sets up a whole set of other stuff that comes within these other movies. So let me move on to number 2, right? It says the perfect person will magically take interest in you because they see the real person inside you, right? And I know within the Caribbean context, you hear some women say, God ain't sent my man yet, or God ain't met my man yet.
He ain't come for me yet.
He ain't come for me yet. Then you look at the 2 movies we're going to look at here, The Girl Next Door and 50 Shades of Grey, right? And those movies both suggest that without doing anything at all, your forever person will just turn up. In real life, nobody is going to just choose you if you're uninteresting and unattractive, or both together, you know what I mean? But in The Girl Next Door, the girl next door literally shows up on this guy's doorstep. Literally just turns up on his doorstep for absolutely no other reason than it works with the plot. You know what I mean? And
the suspension of disbelief.
And we get it, right? And that's important to understand that when we go and we watch this stuff, it is the suspension of belief, right? In 50 Shades of Grey, we are led to believe that a self-made billionaire is just going to be magically attracted to a socially awkward college student who comes to interview him for a paper.
Like Pretty Woman.
And Pretty Woman, a prostitute, right? Although in these times that's more believable than the socially awkward college student, right? So we got to kind of recognize that this stuff is fantasy, and we are required to kind of make ourselves interesting, make ourselves more attractive, to appeal to the people that we want. If we can't do that, we can be sitting down forever. And those ladies who are kind of believing that God can send them boys, we can be waiting a long time, Jack.
Not only that, but start speaking for God here. When they know what the man will, you don't know what the man got for you. What's his plan? So you talk about God can send a man for you. Suppose his plan is for you not to have one.
Yeah. So there's work to be done on all parts, individually. You got to make yourself, as we say here every week, the best version of you. You improve yourself, and you will see that, you improve your options. So, shoot, you might have options for the first time, but you can't just rely on this concept of your person just magically appearing. That's not going to happen. I don't know.
Then if that person does, hold on a minute there, even if that person does magically appear, it is not going to work just like that. Just like that.
Okay. Where am I? Right. Terence is saying that old. I assume she's talking about Nobody's Fool.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
maybe a year or two old. Yeah, even present, she don't deal with men with the criminal past, but she still ended up with the same man with the criminal past, right?
Mm.
The idea of it turning into a marriage was not my idea. It was good with the exploration of the dark side. I'm not sure. I think that might be the Beauty and the Baker, but even Beauty and the Beast, right?
Oh Lord.
I mean,
Which
shoot,
is the
that's
straight which is kidnapping with Stockholm syndrome
yeah,
and
that's Stockholm
sprinkling.
syndrome going down the Wazoo, right?
Straight.
I mean, it's a kidnapping, and then she fall in love with her captor, and it kind of normalizes that kind of trauma. That's Stockholm syndrome. You know what I mean?
Because watch this saying now, Derek. If we take some of these stories into the context of today, or even in a real world context, especially with all this Me Too and cancel culture and all this here, shoot. Can you imagine somebody giving a flower to someone every day? Well, shoot, I heard a story the other day that I can't remember who told me it, but apparently a woman, sorry, there was construction on her street or whatever, and a
Yes.
man that was working the construction, I guess the job was over, whatever. He came to, I guess, the woman's house, or I don't know if it was a shop, I'm not sure, but came to where this woman frequents and gave her a bouquet of flowers and asked, hey, I'm the guy that used to work on the job site. I don't know what their interaction was. I don't know if he was polite. I don't know what it was. But essentially, he asked her on a date, and then she rejected the man and then took to social media to kind of blast the man, what he think it is, and it's kind of stalkerish behavior and this and that next. No, I could put it to you that if that man was a Wall Street banker and he did that, man 6'5", I got brown eyes, nice curly hair, and he did that, he would get through, right? That's neither here or there. The point is that the romantic story, the man is a construction worker. Man see this woman daily. Man see you. Whether he speaks to her or
And
not, I'm not sure.
that is the trope that he's probably bought into in his head. In his brain, he's probably
Exactly.
told himself, this is a really sweet gesture. In
Mm-hmm.
2021, that's considered stalking, right? But don't
Exactly.
worry, don't get ahead of me. We can get there.
No
Dion
problem.
says when you say A, you have to say B. So women looking to be swept off their feet, but not a woman who can backflip through a straw sexually. Um, Interesting.
Um,
I
let me
think
read that. Let
I
me read that
think I
again.
saw Damien address that. Stop supporting that jokey logic that men want porn stars. Men are not that one dimensional. That's a fact. Um, the mere fact that men generally, and we talked about body count and all that there a couple of weeks ago, so I really don't want to go back into that too heavily. But the fact that a matter of fact, let me not say that. A man would prefer, he doesn't care if you don't know the stuff that you know. Because to a man, shoot, I could teach you. I could tell you what I want done. Right? You don't have to come to me knowing that stuff. We can learn that stuff together. You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree with Damien. You don't have to come. We could probably look at that. There's a clip going around. There's a podcast, another podcast called Eight at the Table, and in one of those sessions, there's a lady at the table who says that her man should be happy about the number of partners that she's had because
Oh, face.
it allowed her to bring her experience to their relationship. She kind of got it all of her system, so she's able to come to the relationship now. And you don't want to know how she knows how to do the thing that, you know what I mean, men don't care about that stuff, right? Men don't care about that stuff. Men care, however, about your reputation. If you know it to the streets, we ain't so keen on that. But that's another story. We don't want to go into much of that. We're talking about movies tonight, right? We talk about movies tonight. Good night, Ricardo Atkins. Good to see you.
Good night, bro,
Uh,
brother.
Teresa says, thank you, Dion. If you can't fool, they're not interested. Steve says that that's Disney, so it starts from early and innocently fast. Do women watch rom-coms and men watching? Do women watching rom-coms and okay? They can
Well, we
probably got
watch
some.
we watch rom-com tunes, but rom-coms too, but they're slightly different. See, we watch Terminator. We watch what was another one? We like Rocky. We watch was another the Fast series always has a love scene in it here or there. We like Bond. We like or you see our love story is usually wrapped in some fast cars and some big guns. So
Yeah, pretty much.
that's just what it is. We because I guess there is a level of you see in these emotion these romantic these songs and all of these things there's usually a level of vulnerability that you got to tap into to actually execute some of these things. Yeah, like you giving yourself to a situation for a woman, or you are giving yourself to the woman. Period. And women, it's a quick to that until it really comes to a point of desperation where we in love and we feeling the feeling, and we need to express this very desperately to kind of show the woman what we both. But I find that we men don't truly get down in that behavior because shoot, the point is we were watching the rom-com with you. I remember watching the Notebook with the person that was there in that time, and you know if that don't show you that I feel a sorry about you, then I don't know, because the Notebook to me was a good movie. It is a crap realistic, very realistic,
We can talk about it, no, but don't worry. Don't worry. We
right?
can talk.
But men but a practical love though. Men kind of gather that the love thing. But shoot, if I get into a 9 to 5 every day, I ain't a man that got time to be flying about the place. I ain't got time to, be buying flowers for you every day. I would tell you I love you every day, and that should be enough, right? Every day. But anyhow, there you could continue going.
Yeah, Terence is saying men listen to songs, not just us. And that's very true. Boys and men, they kind of brought up everybody and that stuff through the 90s. That 90s music was steeped in that stuff. And it continues to today too, right? But today now it sounds more so like I just want dagger. It's a lot less romantic these days, right? So Tanya saying the men watching
women calling.
Oh
Sorry.
dear. Right.
Sorry.
Thanks, man. They needed that. Tanya said, I got your head up for the edit. So women watching rom-coms and men watching action adventure, however you want to call it. Yep. Terence says, Damien, what do you want to say? Not all men are. A lot of dumb men do want porn stars.
Yeah, I mean, if I could address that really quickly, yeah, as Derek said, we just want a woman that's capable and open-minded. We ain't looking for some. I don't even like watching that kind of porn where the person is so professional. I like the amateur stuff.
All right. Let's keep it moving. Right. It says, David, if we generalizing. Yeah, we're talking generally. We can't really get them with the anecdotal. Terence here, yes, Dion. With regard to when you say A, say B. Tanya, we're a community of generalizers over here. Which many you mean, says Terence here. What if the streets don't know us, but we have had the experience? Men get side-eyed. But if the streets don't know, you can't get side-eyed, baby, man.
If you went on to the streets and you come in proficient, you proficient.
More power to you.
All right, then. Yeah, it can mean you're a quick study.
Exactly. Dion says, by definition, neither is not a rom-com. Ricardo Atkins men may pretend they want porn stars when they are young and dating, but when they're looking to settle, they move to the church. Not the preacher's wife, but his daughter. So don't be fooled by the porn star thing. Amen, my brother. Men do not settle down, make a home and stuff like that with porn stars. I don't know if it's scientifically proven, but it's as close to a soft fact as you can get, right? Steve was saying, man, we watch a movie with a motive. Fact. And I don't want somebody that will fall up at 40, neither. True. Man, listen to songs too. Why we feel...
I'm looking at the gymnast.
Nobody want that. That was clear. Terence said, man, listen to songs too. Why we feel women be the only ones listening to these songs and acting on them. Now, if here if hear men say, or I hear men say some BS and they hear on some facts. Not saying it's all modest, I see, but it has its advantages. Ricardo, are you watching Poetic Justice and Baby Boy or Taylor Perry? Those black love stories closer to real. Not necessarily true, but we can get into that.
No.
Because when you look
See?
at Taylor Perry is a guy who would, when you look at his movies, it's usually a guy looking like me, dark guy, who tends to be the villainous guy,
Yep.
mistreating
Put
his
there in the
woman and
soup.
stuff like that. Put me in a suit,
Yep.
give me enough money, and then mistreating the woman. I think it was
Yep.
the boy head dude, the foolish lips, Daria
Mm-hmm.
Ma, black woman. Blair
I can see
Underwood
him
was
right
in
now.
another one.
Yep.
Um, yeah, a guy looking like me, mistreating his woman, ill-treating his woman, and she has to be rescued by Neil, right?
A
A
blue
tall
collar,
red man,
a blue collar man, tall
blue
red
collar
man
red
with
man.
curly hair, brown eyes, and just a blue
Yeah.
collar worker cutting the
So
grass in the steel
Taylor
mill.
Perry has victimized me for a little while now, and I take umbrage with it, Taylor Perry. But shoot, make your money. I respect your hustle. You know what I mean? Um, Damien, clear you ain't sure. Once you fall in one office and not folding in every office. Facts. Dion, she
Facts.
said, so you're saying that women should wait till you all get old to decide they want to settle for go childbearing years? Nope. We have never said that, but I think you responding to Dwayne's comment, Ricardo's comment. Tanya says she's dead. Freaky gal, them me love. Cartel for life. Well, oddly enough, life. Clear, man. No, if we fold up, go on sleep and done. Ain't about no sex, barely showing interest. Men tend to generally go about sex. So if you got issues with that, there's something generally going on outside of that. Terencia, yes, and I'm like, dude, do not ask for what you cannot handle. I. Claire
Mm.
is crushing on Tyrese a little bit. Acrimony, I love that movie. But
Uh,
Steve, why did they get married? One and two. Their husband was evil. Yes, Steve, you pick it from really dark man every single time, right? So yes, guys.
Can I
Uh,
on?
Again, let me pause here just to tell you guys, like the page, send the links to your friends, invite them through. We're gonna do a better job. We promise of uploading prior episodes to YouTube, so you can go back and kind of look through them if you want to, and if you want to come back and re-engage us, we have no problem with that, right? So let's move to number three. Number three suggests love at first sight is an actual thing. So in every single version of this trope, the object of the attraction is drop dead gorgeous, right? Whether it be man or woman, the person is just physically appealing. And this suggests that love at first sight has more to do with fleeting attraction than anything long lasting, particularly love, right? And that is where we start to get a little conflicted and conflated and confused, and we kind of mix up the two. And it's not a good look to be googly eyed for somebody that you don't know. And in the age of online dating, this makes it even more of a concern, and you kind of get setting up yourself to be a catfish, right? And when you look back, the Romeo and Juliet example we had at the very beginning, 5 days, 5 days,
Five.
and then they went into a suicide pact. You know what I mean?
Five.
5 days. And while they get that, yeah, um, they were 13 years old, yeah. So young people tend to do kind of, silly stuff. We all know that. We all been young. Um, some of us are still young. But yeah. Um,
I was just about to say.
you know, 5 days. And as we see people online when you watch Catfish is a big thing. Shoot, Catfish was in the movie with Tika Sumpter and Tiffany Haddish. They say nobody's fool, right? So catfish is particularly in the online dating world is a thing. And you will watch catfish and you realize people fall in love with somebody that they've never seen, somebody they
Never
just
seen.
interact with over a computer or a
Mm-hmm.
handheld device. And these people telling you
It
that they're in love.
happens.
They're
It
telling you
happens.
that they're
It
in
happens.
love. And my
It
question
happens.
is
It
always,
happens.
in love with what? Right?
Oh,
Shoot. For the people who've done the online dating thing, no judgment. But me, Derek Marshall, Derek Marshall, Cannot process. I can't fathom it. As a good friend of mine would tell you,
Phantom.
I cannot fathom the idea of being in love with somebody that I've never seen, interacted with physically. We're just talking over a computer screen, and it might be the Bajan in me, it might be the black person in me, but I confessing all my deepest, darkest secrets, and essentially telling you all of my business to somebody that I don't know. So it happens, and people get caught up in the whole love at first sight thing. It's been normalized. It's been normalized from as far back as we see now with William Shakespeare, all the way down through the centuries. It's love at first sight thing. Yeah, we get caught up in how the person looks. And ladies, this is true. Men, same thing. We get caught up in how this person looks. Oh my God, this person looks amazing. So obviously there must be an amazing person. You know what I mean? So I think we got to kind of keep that in check a little bit.
Well, I want to jump in here, Derek, because this is as good a thing. This is as good a time as any for me to do my rant, right? Because we men like action movies. Some of us really love action superhero movies. We love the Marvel, we love the DC, we love it. Yeah. Now, you don't be making fun of us for our superhero movies. You don't want to go and watch the superhero movies. That man, your kind of thing. Because you can't get down with an alien coming down wearing blue and a red cape and flying about. You can't get down with a man dressed like a bat. You can't get down with a man in an iron suit flying about. Yeah? But y'all can get down with a divorced woman who moves into a new neighborhood, just happens to move next to Mr. Right, the perfect guy, who just happens to be married. But because the marriage is just failing, he sees his true love. He has the courage and ambition to divorce his wife to be with his new neighbor. I believe in the red. I would more believe a man coming down in a space as a baby and flying about the place with a red cape. Because I've never seen that. So that's possible still. I have seen how love works and how people work. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is not practical. Yeah? Y'all get down in these rom-coms. Some of them are very well done, very well written. It gets the emotions going. It makes you hope for that perfect love and people lasting till the end of time, etc. But let us get, my mom there is trying to drill into y'all. We watch there and they watch the Fast and Furious series. And granted, again, a little it turning off the physics right now, right? Forgetting what physics is. But
it's true.
the truth is, some of these romantic comedies and songs and all of these other things are so far-fetched. I can sit down for 2 hours and watch men do foolishness in cars that don't make sense than I can watch I can't even think of a rom-com right now. Notting Hill. Notting Hill is one of my favorite movies of all time. Yeah, but when I really think about it, that ain't happening. Those things are a movie star ain't coming to my small shop in the middle of nowhere to all of a sudden find an interest in me, and then we persevere through you having a boyfriend, you lying to me, deceiving me, etc., 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 and we get him married. No, if it is real life, we realize, okay, you are a superstar. We already got our eyes up because we want to know, shoot, were you interested in me that, hey, making what minimum wage? Yeah. And then you got a man. I find out you got a man. You lied to me. Yeah. You go off with the man for a year or two. And you come back a year or two. I pining for you for 2 years. You come back and all of a sudden, I miss you. I love you. I am just a boy. I'm just a girl stand up in front. I mean, brilliant lines, like it gives you that hope. But I hope to fly too. I hope to be strong to lift a truck too. So women, if we can allow the romantic comedies and all this rated and actually do some of these romantic things and watch these things with you gotta allow with the superhero stuff, man, and the action. Yeah? Because at the end of the day, those are our romantic comedies, those are our love songs. We just want to see. Shoot, we watch what was the other day? Godzilla versus Kong. Oh my love that movie. No love in it. No love at all. But I love it. I suspended my disbelief for an hour and some odd minutes, and I watched it, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I watched Nobody. Me and my Derek love this movie. Nobody. Cheese on bread. As a matter of fact, that does have a bit of love in it too. And I would actually venture to you that I would more believe a former CIA assassin that is now that has quit his life and now lives in suburbia with his wife and two children, and he is going to do anything to protect them, even if it means killing an entire Russian mob. I would believe that more than sleepless in Seattle. I would believe that more that I would believe that more than she got mail. I believe that more than love and basketball. So we got to women just love we, yeah. Man, tell you can't we gonna watch little Marvel. Don't tell him, man. Nah, that my thing, man. That little boy thing, and ninja. You watching little girl things though? How to get away with murder? What's how to get away with murder? What is Grey's Anatomy, yo? None of one in here. Sorry, I don't know if anyone in here is doctors. But if you're a doctor working in an ER, you know what the time nor the energy for all these shenanigans be going on in Grey's Anatomy. You know the time or energy for that? Suits. You're a high profile lawyer. You don't got the time for love and romance. You got the compassion. So let me yeah, what's good for the goose, good for the gander. If I want to watch my Marvel or whatever, watch that with me, and I'll watch Little Notebook with it, and we keep it moving.
All right.
That's my rant for the night.
Rian is here. Good night, Rian. Good to see you. Steve is saying that Aquaman didn't do that well since the man was a hero.
Oh dear.
Teresa is saying he wanted to kill it, Steve. I do not agree. As a man that's watched this movie about 4 or 5 times, let me say here that yes, he beat her down for what was the better part of 20 years. He got her house taken from her and stuff like that. But when she went out on her date, Terencia, her date with the other guy that she knew from school, she recounted while she was watching the ex-husband wash dishes in the restaurant. She recounted that he owed her $1,002,000 and some cents, and she said she wanted that back. Right? That's what she said. My man bought her back her house, gave her a check for $10 million. So he repaid her tenfold after she divorced him. So I think, yeah, it was a little rough in the beginning. It was a little rough for most of the life. But yeah, in the end, my guy came through. He repaid her tenfold. Okay, tenfold. And she still freak out and shoot the man and all kind of thing. But that's not story for that time, right? Ricardo is saying he's shooting the shot at Terencia and saying that it made him look at Tyler Perry movies again. Good. That's why we're here. We're here to provide perspective. Damien Daniel, things that people can't handle with regard to what we're talking about. Ricardo, Dion, I believe that can work on the contrast. Some people court for years or married for years and still break up. Facts. 2 couples who got married after dating online, they aren't Beijing though. Terencia is saying that is fair, Derek. I plan to do some online dating. My options in BIM non-existent. And that is fine, guys. That is fine. If that floats your boat, do it. It's not my thing. That's me speaking for me. That's not even me speaking for the Senate podcast. That's me speaking for me. Like if you wanna go that way, if you think that that's your best route, that's fine. Just go in with it. With eyes wide open, as opposed to arms, right? Anyhow. Steve, love was different then. Too many distractions with social media and all these hashtag goals. Facts. Tanya is saying, I don't think with regard to the one couple who got married, I don't think that isn't possible. I just think we are less conditioned because of all the possibilities we have in this day and age. Yes, we grew up in a different time. We are different kind of people because we grew up in the Caribbean. So we know everybody, right? It's 166 square miles, 285,000 people. You can see somebody that you know. You're going to run into somebody. So our options, we tend to have a little bit more in terms of finding somebody to connect with and stuff like that. It's a little easier for us. But within the North American and Canadian and European sexual markets and stuff like that, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. I have a friend of mine, she lives in Germany, and she says that when she is in a club or something like that, the guys are very aggressive. Why? Because if they don't get your number, especially if they don't score tonight, they don't know when next they're going to see you. Because there's so much mass between them and you, right? Here in Barbados, you drive 15 minutes in any direction, you run up on the beach. You know what I mean?
Boy, I'll wait for you next week. The thing is,
right?
I actually got a story with that. I used to club Mr. Blue. I used to see this girl every week, and I literally used to be like, yeah, I can see you next week. So
yeah, let's wait. You know what I mean? Terence, I did watch action movies. Again, we generalizing. I can't work with that. Things can happen.
Hold on. I gotta address this because I've been saying this and things. Women that are in this chat, you said I am generalizing. I am not talking about you guys. There are women out there, more than you would believe, that really don't like action movies, really don't like the Marvel. Yes, you guys are here open-minded. The warning at the beginning of the show says open-mindedness is advised. You guys are open-minded, but there are so many women walking around here that are not open-minded. So instead of me saying they got a few or they got some, from Derek's experience and for all of our friends, our male friends, that is the standard. So polling you guys in here, you guys are open. You guys are willing to listen or willing to be wrong and accept that there is something different. There are a lot of women out there that quite frankly don't give a damn of seeing somebody else's perspective. So again, I want to do generalizing because again, when I say I am not saying that every woman that walks the planet hates Marvel movies. Again, some women never watch movies in the world ever. So this is not a fair statement for me to say. But when I say women, let us not get down in the semantics. Because at the end of the day, when I say women, I am talking about a majority of most women, all women, some women, a few women. Please, let us get away from stop the generalization. Yeah? And I know what y'all gonna say. Y'all gonna say, oh, but y'all's comedy, all men are, y'all say that women say all men are dogs. We could say the same argument too. But you see, there's a difference. Because the difference is when y'all say all men are dogs, that is not the majority. The men that are dogs are a subset. And that is based on your experience. And your experience alone. We might try to be serious. Right? But that's the thing I'm trying to say. When women say all men are dogs, that is not fair to the men. There's a small subsection of men in the population that are dogs, that are wicked, evilous.
I got you covered, though. I got you covered.
No, unless you got the editing, you could play. Right. Oh, there are some men out there that are wicked and do dastardly things. Same with women. But a lot of women out there do not like action movies. There are a lot of women out there that are coming from a perspective of not being open-minded and believe that a man and the world must cater to them. That's a fact. So when I say women, I want us to understand that I ain't like I saying all women. You've never heard me say all women are whores. You will never hear me say that. You will never say me say all women are gold diggers. You will never hear me say that. And you in here would not use words and language like that. But a lot of people out there, a lot of women out there, because a lot of men don't really get none of that. A man is just keep it moving, keep it trucking. Yes, some men go out there and say women are whores. Some men go out there and say that they're gold diggers. But generally, men keep it moving. Men keep it bouncing. Women tend to say all men are dogs. A lot of women say it. So let us get away from the semantics of the statements that are being made here. Yeah. Sorry,
Yes,
Derek.
sir. We're moving on. Rihanna says she loves Notting Hill. Terencia said Tanya and Claire hair rough tonight, nearly having it. Dion say you better go back to your t-shirts. Steve, how to lose a guy in 10 days. Both sides working opposite tactics, yet they end up together. Because the plot says that they must, right? That's what it is. Claire says she invited 4 sacrificial virgins. I don't even know if they came, so I could claim my shirt. I hope they came. We'll work on the shirt for you, Claire. Don't worry about it. Tonya say rough and decent streets. Yes, it is. And shoot, and I didn't even kick up. Greg, welcome, my brother. Good to see you. Love of basketball is a classic, bro. I've watched it once or twice. Rihanna and Godzilla versus Kong 2. Sharma, good night, everyone. Sorry I got here so late. Like I missed enough, though. Not particularly. We not picking up. Tonya saying she loves Marvel. Rihanna says, but you can't assume that women only like chick flicks. Yeah, but given the choice, I am suspecting that you would choose that.
Hold on a minute.
Blood and gore.
Let me touch that again. We never said that women only like chick flicks. Yeah? But we know a lot of women that like Grey's Anatomy, Chicago Hope, ER, not ER, How to Get Away with Murder, Scandal. All of these shows are not necessarily chick flicks, but they portray very toxic expectations when it comes to just being a human being, let alone relationships.
I'm concerned with the fact that you know all these programs, to be fair.
I dated women, and that's what, and that's the thing. Every woman that I have dated likes those kinds of shows. So, and I don't hold it against them. I understand. You want the intrigue, you want the drama, fine, fair enough. I have a problem when it starts to warp your sense of reality and what is reasonable. You don't see, watch it. Back in the day, to have Fast and Furious. First Fast and Furious, man freak out, man went, left the Vista, the Olympus, wherever it was at the time, man peel out, everybody modify a Honda, everybody think. That wasn't realistic because the physics in the movie was not realistic. Right? Now we have a bunch of people watching these shows, seeing how the female protagonist manipulates their male counterparts or what have you to obtain what they want, whether it be love, money, sex, whatever it is. Yeah? I am not saying that the movies don't exist with men doing it too, but let's be honest. I can turn on the TV now and I can watch something like that. So we are not saying that women only like chick flicks. Shoot, we understand women like Marvel. I dated a girl, my son's mother, we used to watch all the Marvel movies together. And that's the thing. I'm not saying that women don't like them. I'm not saying it's exclusive. However, a majority of you all, because I find that you all want me to get real specific, as my mother is like to joke about.
Mm-hmm.
The problem here is that a lot of people watch these things and a lot of people take these concepts within this thing and it helps to reinforce or to develop things that don't make sense in the real world.
All right, going forward, I watch all the movies. You know what's going on here. Says Tonya, my man, dial back on the suits. Welcome, Damian Murphy. Good to see you, brother. He says dial back on the suits.
So this is a top series until it started to get weird in season 5 or 4, whatever it was.
Right. I think we need to do a survey of women here in this one. You can settle down. Musa. Teresia says, wait there. The man that I want to kill him was in mind and we really didn't get married. Okay, cool. In acrimony, I didn't take her side. She was wrong. Yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
This is Uncle. I approve this message. All of
right? I gotta get my man a soundboard.
Nika, good to see you.
Good night, Nika.
Good night, welcome again. Greg, true, quite a few don't like the violence, etc. Beer chick flicks them like. Terencia is saying, I feel in this. I think we need to do about the survey. Well, women don't like Marvel or action movies for real. I'm not sure if that's a question or not. Don't let me hear you. Says Tonya. I think her comment is modest. related to the fact that you generalize when you talk about women, but yet when they made the comment about backflip on a straw, you all said, no, that's not true. Okay? Love and action over chick flick any day, says Nika. More or less. Okay, gotcha now, Dion. Marcel Brathwaite, welcome. Good to see you.
Yeah, there. Time out there a minute. Time out there a minute. To Dion, I think that's Dion that would have said that thing about back flipping on a straw.
Right, right.
But you realize, Dion, when we retorted, we were saying, that's not true. Men don't necessarily do X, Y, Z, A, B, C. But we didn't come and say, that there's a generalization or whatever. We understand that men are sexual and visual. And we understand that probably a good few set of men want women to do the damnedest. But, we did not get down this is a generalization. I didn't think it to mean, well, I don't want things. How dare, because I know what I am, I know what I'm about, and I know what woman that backflip on a straw. So you can't mean me. I will try my best to ease off the generalization, but I want it to be understood that as you speak, as you get hype, as you're processing things and speaking and responding, sometimes I will say women. I'm saying it now. When I say women, I do not mean every woman on the planet, nor do I mean the women in this chat when I say women. If I make a generalization, forgive me, but I am speaking and I'm just like my brain going. Yeah. So sometimes I may not be able to say some women, most women, whatever, and categorize it. But please don't let's get bogged down on that. Because let's understand that I do not mean all women. We cannot speak to our experiences with all women.
Yeah, it's still a broadcast, so we can speak generally, right? That's just how it goes. So, but let's keep tracking.
Yeah.
Right, we got some stuff in here. Okay, cool. Let's move on though. Let's move on. You got point number 4, which is really where we really wanted to get into, right? Some of the more interesting ones. This one says that love is proven by ignoring explicit rejection, right? So you often hear people say, I can't live without you, or I can't live without she, I can't live without he, or I don't know what I would do without you, or the ever. My personal favorite, straight out of the crazy people alley, if I can't have you, then nobody can have you, you know? And that's how we hear it within the Caribbean context. Airport and stuff like that. And Hollywood romanticizes that stuff. But really and truly, that is stalker behavior, right? I watched last week or week before, I watched Nick's Man. He's a Barbadian living in England, and he did a comedy special, right? And he said, he made the point that when you watch this stuff on TV, it look real cool to see people running through the airport, chasing down the person that they love so much and all that. But as a black man, he can't really do that, right? You see, he's never seen anybody go fill up paperwork and stuff like that running through the airport because he's married to a white woman. And he said, listen, if you want to leave, you gotta give me like 6 weeks notice or something like that, so you can push through some paperwork, so we can work on this you leaving and me chasing you through the airport kind of thing. Because as a black man, you running through the airport and they run up to the desk, harassing the staff, telling them you want to get on the plane. Yeah, you're looking to get arrested, and that's gonna be a cavity search. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyhow, on the flip side, also associated with that, there's self-disqualification, where a person says that they would make a horrible partner, but would be ignored, right? And in the immortal words of Maya Angelou, when someone tells you who they are, believe them, right? Don't try to wear them down. Don't try to stalk them. You're just setting yourself up for disaster, right? Fellas, gentlemen, within the chat, right? Women are not like banks. With banks, you whatever you put in, you get out, right? Except for when the bank hit with the charges, but that's another story. Whatever you put in, you can take out. Not like that with women. If a woman ain't interested, she ain't interested. And no amount of stalking, roses, bouquets of flowers, magically turning up at the job. None of them things ain't gonna help you.
And moving the needle.
All that happen is she will call security for you. If you're lucky. If you ain't so lucky, she call police. Right? But we've been so conditioned to think that we can kind of wear people down to win them to our side, to win the love. And it's almost expected that we're supposed to do that, right? And we're gonna tie it in with point number 5 in the notebook, right? Point number 5: giving large unrequested gifts is a way to make amends. Now we talk about pursuing people in point 4, but now you're already in, and we try to make amends. And in the notebook, so we talk about the notebook. Noah and Ali are 2 teenagers. They date for 1 summer when they're 17 years old. So they're together, they separate, and 10 years later, well, over 10 years later, he sees her. At this point, she's happily engaged to her fiance. And in an effort to win her back, he rebuilds the house where they lost their virginity. Now, this woman married, we talked about this earlier. But we haven't talked about it. We haven't talked about it. That's the next point, right? But she's engaged to be married. And this dude figures, hey, I want to win back this woman, so let me rebuild this house. No, I mean, that is as extra as you can get, right?
Not rebuilding the house, but he's selling his father, right? Or something like his father?
By himself. But he rebuilt it by himself. But she's already with somebody else. She didn't ask for that gift. He took it upon himself to do this gift and see if he could win her back, right? And of course, because it's supposed to go with the plot, because it's supposed to be all so sweet, yeah, it works, and they live happily ever after. Run credits, right?
I'm not so happy because of the day in the end, but
yeah. Public declarations of love go along with this, right? So how often you see a fella standing up in a crowd of people just declaring his love for somebody else, you know what I mean?
Jasmine, I love you.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And this gives us the impression that grand gestures and these public declarations are grounds for reconsideration or even consideration in some instances, right? We also learn to pursue partners who won't accept a simple, heartfelt apology unless they are accompanied by a large and very often expensive gift. Let me repeat that for the guys in the crowd, in the chat, right? We learn to pursue partners who won't accept a simple, heartfelt apology unless they're accompanied by a large and very often expensive gift. We hear people, I'm going to say people. Yeah, I'm going to say people. But when I use this expression, we don't know which people, male or female, use this expression. We hear about people being in the doghouse without recognizing that they're actually holding the relationship to ransom.
No, you're trying to be PC, which is very funny for me. I have never, ever heard of about a woman being in a doghouse. Ever. And I ain't talking about, let me move forward. We keep it, as you say, trucking.
Yeah, but I want to touch on this a little bit. I remember I was dating this woman one time, and we had a little bit of a falling out, and I apologized for my part in the whole thing. And her response to that was, because I noticed she was still a little cold about it, and her response was, essentially that I didn't do enough to get out of the doghouse. And I found that interesting, to say the least. But for me, you would figure that it's not like they kill somebody or anything like that. You know what I mean? So what grand gestures do you expect of me Do you expect there to be some public declaration and stuff like that? And I think we get a little caught up in this stuff. We know that these brain people, I'm saying we, but we know how this really plays out, right?
Mm.
We grind people when we upset and we figure, nah, this body got to pay for that. And I ain't speaking to this body until, you know, he or she, I'm going to say he or she, got to do
But
X
let's
and
be fair.
Y.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to do this before we even consider going back around them. You know, can we just accept that? You know, sometimes we mess up as human beings, and a simple sorry is enough. Because if a guy doesn't have the means, and they can say a guy now, if a guy doesn't have the means to buy a large gift as a form of apology, what then is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to just decide, well, I can't buy the necklace nor a bracelet nor anything, so let me just walk away and left this here? Because clearly I cannot Hollywood or purchase my way out of the doghouse. So how long do I have to wait inside the house for you to cool down or whatever, right? So I'd love to hear what everybody has to say about that. So let's
I
backtrack
see
a little
somebody
bit.
mention. I see somebody mentioning about apologies, and I would say that both parties, men and women, are guilty of the apology because there's a lot of pride and ego in that, and men are very prideful, very proud, egotistical creatures. They don't want to give that inch. We can get into that another time, but really and truly, apologies is a hard swallow in a lump. Um, my experiences is my experience is with women apologizing. It has happened. Women have apologized. Women have flat out tell me, I am not apologizing to you. I know I was wrong, but I'm not apologizing to you. So I mean, that is wrapped up in ego, ego and pride. Yeah,
All right, Rian, they say to be here that a large wrongdoing will require a large gift.
I
Teresa
hope
says
that
no.
I
I hope
hope
it
that you
goes both
remember. I
ways.
hope you know that worked both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, ladies, who in their right mind in the Caribbean takes these rom-coms seriously asking for me? You'll be very surprised, Teresa.
You
Very, very
would be
surprised.
so surprised, yo.
Because look, the ladies are here saying that they want large gifts. Carrie Ann, good to see you as always. And she's saying, tell it, she
Same.
wants a large gift. Tanya is saying, no, doghouse. Many men don't even apologize, act like nothing ever. Not all men. I see you, Tanya. I see you. Many, many, many. And the same goes
Any
for
man.
many, many, many women as well. I had a woman tell me one time that she does not believe in saying sorry. So that was interesting
Woman
for
don't
me
believe
as
in
well.
Santa. She does not believe in Santa nor apologies.
Yeah, she doesn't believe in that. Steve is asking if large in size or price. Um, Terence is corroborating Tanya's story. Tanya says, I'd accept an apology plain and simple, but as you, Terence, I find it hilarious here to me, Neil, that the women are saying that men don't apologize. And I am certain most of the men in here would be of the opinion that women don't apologize. So I find this
Yeah,
really interesting to me, or really
because
informative.
because because it's funny, right? Because and I'm glad we have this space to have these conversations, right? Because it is clear that we in this forum, we are all like-minded individuals for the most part, and we all are willing to learn from each other and to gather knowledge to take back to our various camps, right? Um, yeah, if you ask a lot of men, like if for me, I feel like women have apologized to me, but women have flat out like to get that apology took a bit of work. It took a bit of showing them how I felt and what it meant and stuff like that. I have apologized a lot, especially in cases where I realized, you know what, Neil, you reacted poorly, or you should have maybe have thought it through a bit more, anything like that. So the apology thing for sure is a man and woman thing, and I guess it comes down to your experience with people, women. I mean, Derek and I, we have the belief that accountability is a myth to some women. Shoot, most women by our experiences. And when it comes to apology and taking accountability for our actions, depending on what it is, they just ain't copping to it. It just ain't happening. You could cry a yam, you could do whatever, it just is not happening. That's from our experiences, right? And I'm sure some of you women can say that. Some women can say, my man did something, he never apologized. However, Derek and I, coming from the school of men that have been, as Derek saying, taught that when you apologize, you gotta do a grandiose gesture. I love you, I miss you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. You buy a gift, you take them to dinner, etc.
Yeah.
We find our ways.
On the flip side, O'Neil, how do women apologize? Okay, I am sorry, but you did so and so.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No. Listen,
And that is
I was hit with one.
The gifts ain't coming.
Hold on.
The gifts ain't coming.
I was hit with one. I am sorry you feel that way, but
To be fair, man that that drop that one too. To be fair,
sorry you feel. I sorry you feel that way, but an apology is not an apology when you drop a butt in it. Just saying.
Yeah. So I find this very interesting. Carry on and say, let us not be materialistic about these gifts of apology. Actions are very important. And seeing an actual behavior change can be more fulfilling than a physical gift like roses or dinner. And that is a fact. That's the thing. That's the thing about the grand gestures, right? There's some people who do grand gestures really well. And they're able to, because they have means, they can go and get certain things done, right? But they may not be good at the smaller things that are required to kind of keep a relationship ticking over, to keep a relationship going. And I think maybe get caught up in these grand gestures. We do ourselves on our relationships a disservice. Terence is saying, Neil and Derek, I've met few men who will apologize. I have no doubt that some do, but I have found few who do. And we accept that, we take that, because by the same token, we find very few women who can actually apologize. Women are prepared to lose friends rather than apologize. Right. And ladies, if you're being honest, you got girlfriends that you decide I ain't speaking to shit, you're just done talking. Because you ain't speaking to shit.
And the reason why we are readily accepting this is because human nature is based on ego. Proud people is one of the deadly sins, right? Pride. So within that, humbling yourself and admitting you're sorry for some people is like, it's like a game. It's like war. You know what I mean? Like, you literally gotta come out your hole and say, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. That's my bad. Most people, yeah.
I see. Omar, welcome to the chat.
Night, Omar.
You say apologies on the other side of the fence are few and far between in my experiences. P.S. Apologizing in opening your legs. To which Tonya Seeley responds and says, "You who thinks this?"
Yo.
Man.
Yo.
Man.
Yo.
If you have ever received an apology, sorry, let me not even say an apology. If you were ever apologized to by receiving some sex, you never heard the words, "I'm sorry." This is how it went down. Something happened, you got upset as a man, you kind of shut down a little bit. Or you may have mentioned it, look, I didn't respect so and so, and you were a little standoffish, you were a little cold. And the apology you got was sex. If that has ever happened to you, man, drop some ones in the chat. Let me see what's going on. If that has ever happened to you, man, drop some ones in the chat. Let me see what's happening. Right? Because Tonya is asking, who thinks this? I am certain most men have experienced that. No apology. Come and get a little bit. Yeah, Terence is saying, just say F'd up. And I am sorry if I am the one that screwed up. I am apologizing, and the makeup sex is awesome. And there we have it, the makeup sex. But at least Terence gave your apology first.
I have no problem. You see, we may call it the spiteful fool, right? No, we have no problem. You can apologize every time. But the next time we have sex, if it get a little rough, that's part of the chorus. Y'all call it makeup sex, we call it the spiteful fool.
Tanya
Some
saying
of
that
us.
I mean, I don't consider that an apology. I don't understand who thinks that. But as you, Tanya, a lot of the guys, shoot, look at the guys. Look at the guys. The
Telling
guys
y'all.
telling you. The guys telling you. And here's the
And
thing.
and
We are so
go ahead.
hardwired to just accept the sex because we like, shoot, yeah, we like sex, so we can take it. But the issue is resolved, right? And you got away without apologizing, right? Men now are kind of hit to the game a little bit more nowadays. So you ain't gonna be able to pull that all the time, ladies. Yeah? As Steve is saying, funny enough, this counts as a gift too. Yes.
Don't do
Gentlemen,
that.
again, if you've ever
Don't do that.
received sex as a gift for say Valentine's or your
You ain't
birthday or
get.
something
You
like
got
that,
nothing for Christmas.
drop some ones in the chat if you've ever gotten some sex for your
You
birthday or
have
something like
gotten nothing for Christmas because if we are in a relationship and I get sex on Monday, Friday, Thursday, Tuesday, bank holidays, I get sex 5 times a week, 4 times a week, 3 times a week. I get sex. We have sex. When my birthday roll around, they say, "Hey babe, how you doing?" Well, I can do something spicy for you in the bedroom. I am sorry, but a gift is
that. Good.
something new, something that we would kind of like to you know unwrap and feel special. Shoot, buy me socks. Look, on my
I get
birthday, for
along, get along
Christmas,
some,
for
get along
Valentine's
some.
Day, especially if I give you a gift for Valentine's Day or Valentine, if I give you a gift and I celebrate your days by showing you, giving you tokens of appreciation. As my mother say, even if I wrap a rock and get to you to show you I went in the garden and I picked a rock for you and wrap it, that is a gift. I don't come with my penis saying, "Yeah, happy birthday. What are you gonna do here?" No,
I got something for you.
yeah, no.
Right, number six,
So,
guys. Just moving on. Number six. Pursuing someone that is already in a relationship is considered romantic. So we kind of normalize horning, right? Good. So don't you just love how Hollywood makes us cool with the idea of horning, right? Now, to be fair, as Caribbean people, we've already got a handle on the horny thing, but they try to be slick with this by making the horny, the person getting the horn, they make the horny an insufferable person, right? So this
oh yeah,
allows us to kind of skip over the moral conventions, which would come into play when you start talking about home wrecking, which is what it is, right? So it ignores the very real reality that it is difficult to trust someone who you know is willing to cheat on their partner. Focusing on someone in a relationship is a scarce mindset. Here in the Senate, we deal in the abundance mindset.
mindset. Amen.
Yeah.
There, I want to add one of my favorite romantic comedies of all time is My Best Friend's Wedding with Julia Roberts. Cameron Diaz was in it in a minor role as well.
Mm-hmm.
That is where Julia Roberts' best friend, who's a man, says, "Yeah, hi, how you doing? Again, married, ready. I need you. I want you to fly out and whatever." And you know, Julia Roberts, who is a woman that is about her career and pushing everything, she realizes, you're like, I love this man. We shared a moment a few years ago. I love this man. I think this is the one for me. She tries her damnedest to ruin the best friend's wedding, essentially, by trying to manipulate the bride. The bride was a young Ditsy, Cameron Diaz. And she tries to manipulate the situation, game the situation to show him and her that they were not right for each other. In the end, they both showed Julia Roberts, the protagonist, that they really are in love and they really are meant to be. And her efforts to thwart the wedding were unsuccessful. And she has to accept that she has to give away her best friend essentially to marriage and let him go. One of the best ever rom-coms because that is grounded in reality. Yes, the one person won't harm the other person. Yeah, boy, I love this person. I try to bracket this marriage. I try to, see what's good. Bum, bum, bum. And then you realize, shoot, I really shouldn't be home wrecking. I gotta let that slide.
But here's the thing, Neil. The two people involved didn't sway, right? If conversely, if you look at somebody like the wedding singer,
Hey,
Adam
hey.
Sandler is supposed to be actually helping Drew Barrymore's character plan her wedding,
Yep.
and because the guy her intended, her fiance is a complete
Douche.
douche, you know, it makes it a little easier for you to kind of stomach the machinations that would have gone on behind the scenes to kind of disrupt the wedding. Because
Mm-hmm.
without his influence, Drew Barrymore getting along comfortable. She happy, she going on get married. You know what I mean? But he's in there working his own little thing. Right, you know, he ended up with a girl. And we all
Mm-hmm.
cool with that, right? Let me just slide in the chat here. Toya is saying no to Steve's point that it's counted as a gift too. Terencia is saying no, no, no. A gift is a gift. Sex is not a gift. Okay, Terencia. Okay. Um,
Mm.
Renee is trying
Look,
to wrap her brain.
you want to give me the gift of sex for the next birthday? Bring your friend. That's a joke. That's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah. All right. So Renee can't conceptualize that is the only thing we get as a gift. Tanya saying they rough with us sometimes, but man, these women want to know. Shoot, that's reality, and that's part of the reason that kind of pushed me to push Neil for us to start this space, so that people, particularly women, can get a little bit of insight into what men go through, what we experience, right? As we said it last week, we speak to guys our age, we speak to guys in the 30s, we speak to guys in the 20s. When you break it down all the way to the secondary schools, all males, and this is here in Barbados, experience pretty much the same thing. When you go overseas and you hear guys overseas in North America, Europe talking, they experience the same things, right? So that's why we kind of felt the need to bring this stuff to you guys so you guys can understand what we're going through, and so that the information is not always skewed,
Oh my
right?
goodness gracious! I just look in the chat. Woo,
Uh,
sorry. When you get to this chat, I can tell you where to stop. I won't hit it. Go.
cool. Um, I said the same thing. Call me. Okay, Miss Leon's comment. Tanya is saying break to all. Renee is saying rough to all. Terence say yes, it is. Renee is rough to all. As foolish as this may sound, horny is built on trust on both parties. Yes, it is. Yeah, I watched that. Neil says Tanya was good. Yeah, these things just show how good we are, how good we are as women, and how men don't choose good women. Us good women get dragged. Woo.
Well,
Apologizing,
keep reading there. Keep reading.
giving men gifts, being emotionally supportive, having his back, giving him sex all the time, watching all types of movies. But we good women always get burned. I wonder what mistakes are being made by men when choosing who to be with. Because to me, finding a good woman is so easy. Look at all the women in here, including myself.
No, no, Rian. What you have just articulated is what we as good men go through. Exactly that. The only difference I would say, it is not so easy to find a good woman. It is not so easy to find a good man because a lot of us walking around here playing parts. But generally, what you are saying, we as men, some of us, men like myself and Derek, and some of our friends, shoot, we go to great lengths to make sure that we make our partner comfortable. We make sure we support. Shoot, we even do things like support emotionally, which is very hard for a man. Yeah. We try so hard to make sure that our partners are comfortable and happy and healthy. Shoot, we would go to therapy. We would take accountability for our actions. Yeah. And we still get the shitty end of the stick too. Believe you me, Rian, it is not so easy to find a good partner. If it were, we would all have one. Good men get dragged just as much as good women. Believe you me. I know you're a good woman, Rian. I know you're a good woman, but I'm a good man too. And what you just wrote there, I can say the very same thing. And that is why we have this space because and this conversation, you see, I like the fact that we are getting into a space of mutual understanding with certain things. Yeah. Because even the women in here that are open-minded and accepting of certain things and willing to listen and to change, y'all are still gaining insights to some things men go through and some experiences men have. Tanya does not understand how women don't like Marvel movies. Dion was asking, if women don't exclusively like rom-coms. That is the point. The point is that we are giving you knowledge just as y'all are giving us knowledge as well. And the point is, Rian, is that there are good men out there just like there are good women. We know some dogs for men, as I am sure you know some dogs for women. The point is, is that we men too go through all of this. The difference is that for women it is normalized and accepted for y'all to go out there and to share your trauma. Tell your truth, as my man Derek likes that's his favorite statement, right? Right? So y'all women go on social media and in various circles and spheres, and you all tell your truth. Shoot, we as men, we are now creating spaces where we can go out and say to our friends, yo, I ain't good. I get hurt. This woman, this, that, the next. When we go on social media, I told Derek a situation where years ago on Facebook, I was feeling kind of really down and I had some really dark thoughts. And I went on social media at the time, this is probably like 2010, 2009, and I put up a status just as dark. And women commented in the comment section and said, well, you bringing this is the thing, but this ain't the place for this. We don't just cheer up. We don't just, we have not yet have this space where we can come out and say, yo, these are our experiences. Yes, me and Derek, every episode we come and say we do dirt too. We have been around the block, but we are not defined by that. That is not the rule for us. We have had moments of weakness. We have had moments of bad decisions, just like every other human walking this planet. But for the most part and parcel, we know how to treat a woman. We know how to treat a woman. We know what makes sense, and we know what we are not tolerating. We are willing to compromise. We are willing to work with you. But we need these spaces so that statements like Rihanna just saying, it's so easy to find a good woman in her opinion, it really is not. It really is not as easy. Even when you find a good woman, even when you spend time in memorial with this woman, you build with this woman, this good woman, it can still go to shit. Through no fault of anybody on but life.
I have to say, I wanted to address it, but I see Omar responding, and Omar says, but doesn't that mean that good women choose bad men?
And that's the same thing. Fact on fact on fact on fact on fact. Y'all choose bad. Some women choose bad and base that interaction or those series of interactions as completely their fault, completely the man's fault, and there's no accountability for them and their actions in it. Even if you've been done dirty, you had one man, the man harm you. You had another man, the man beat you. You had another man, the man steal from you. At some point, right? Granted, those are horrendous. Those are the far end of the scale, the extremes. But at some point, you have to discern. I gotta choose better here, though. I gotta get in different circles. I gotta go somewhere.
I tell you, Neil, you gotta change your pool.
Change your pool.
You gotta change the dating pool.
Hold on. You know full well that every person, whether man or woman, is not bad. You know that they're out there, right? So you gotta find it. Maybe a diamond in the rough, a needle in the haystack, but you got to find him. Or you can work on yourself for when an opportunity comes and you find someone that's a half a diamond or a common pin, it could work with them. But stop choosing bad partners, men and women, because some of the men out there too, like when they're foolish, when they choose some women just cause they look good, and when they horn you up and don't carry away your money and this and that, and next, you harbor it, and you all red women is beer junk. Quickest thing is a red woman is horn. Obvious, I have had red women that never horn me. Well, see, and they have different experiences. Like my experiences, I could talk about dark women, but I wouldn't because I know not every woman I engage will do that. Therefore, when all of us make our decisions and are hurt, what we need to do is reflect inward, really, really think critically about what I did wrong or right, or if this was a situation where I was done completely dirty, or if I had a hand in the demise of this relationship. That will inform you going forward for your next relationship. If your next relationship, you choose somebody that is of a similar ilk and the outcome remains the same. Y'all tell me last week or week before, change my dating pool. Well, expand your dating pool, women. Expand your dating pool, man. I don't know how, I don't know where, but you know what? Try something different. Be more discerning. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from experiences you have had. Be more discerning. Shoot, get therapy. I holding on to things literally that have happened to me because you see, that's low hanging fruit. Getting horn, getting beat. That's low hanging fruit. It's real easy to say that person's a scumbag. But when a relationship ends and you literally cannot point to how it went wrong, where it went wrong, y'all just grew apart, y'all did not talk enough, y'all did not spend time enough. When that happens, right, who's to blame? I have tried being angry at women. I have tried hating women that have done certain things to me. But you know what? I can't hate them because I had a hand in it. And I understand that they were going through stuff too. And you know what I do? I go to therapy to help get rid of these feelings of holding on to things. So stop using the excuse of I did good, I was done bad, and truly look and discern if you had any part to do with it and seek therapy to get past it.
Yeah, you got to stop bleeding on the people that didn't cause you injury. Terence says, Neil, you guys are good men. Oh, thank you. I try to be
actually, which
the
is
best
funny
version of
because
myself.
you told me something.
Yeah, man.
Somebody told you
Yeah.
I really, really want to know who tell you that, who that person is, because I got some choice words for them.
Yeah, I got. It was somebody asked about the whole show and stuff like that. Hey, yeah, we can talk it here. Somebody asked about the show and these two guys that doing this show and how it is that these men talking about relationships and they themselves don't know how to be faithful and all that kind of stuff. And my initial response a couple of years ago, not now, would have been to be upset. But then I thought about it and I was like, I've never given anybody in this chat here the impression that I am a saint. I've never given anybody in this chat the impression that I have always, done it straight down the line.
Always bleed red. All of us got human. All of us are human.
I'm a human being. I've done my dirt. I've had some dirt done to me. It happens. I've been through that. And I'm going forward, trying to do better. I come here every Tuesday and Thursday night, share my experiences as a man, so that women in the chat can see that, hey, this is what men go through. Because guess what? When I share my experiences, the other men in the chat can corroborate my story because they've been through the very same things or things very, very similar. And then we make it kind of understand and appreciate the fact that, hey, this is what men are going through en masse. This is not anecdotal evidence we're talking about here. This is more often than not men going going through similar things, right? So if people want to come and they want to bring the ad hominem attacks and stuff like that, that's fine. That's cool. But guess what? Come Thursday night, we can be here. Next Tuesday, we can be here. You know, it don't matter to me. If you want to go and dig up in my past or you go up and dig up in Neil past, have at it.
Have at it. Have at
Yeah.
it.
But the reality is, shoot, we've told y'all guys that we've made some mistakes, we've messed around, we've done some stuff. So who want to go and dig up and dive in? Feel free, you know? So Toya is
Enjoy.
asking, don't you find that men have an ideal and you kind of end up taking a chance a lot of times because men are chasing the ideal, hence the bad choices? And Renee says, agreed. And a lot of the time, the ideal is physical. Yes, men are very, very visual people. We are very, very visual creatures. We stick a pin, let me backtrack. We all are visual people. It's not just a men thing because women, they might got to appeal to you on some level visually for you to even think, let me chat to this guy, right? So yeah, men like to look at women, but I'll tell you, right? I found men might like a particular thing, but men understand that they don't always get the perfect thing they're looking for. And I've seen guys who admire some fantastic looking women on IG, and then when you see the wife, diametrically opposed. But guess what? That guy has realized, you know what? This is a good woman for me. This is a good woman for me. So he's sticking in there. He's sticking in there. No, they got IG. They got OnlyFans if you want to spend some money. So a fella would go on IG, look at some women and say, yeah, cool, cool, cool. But guess what? He home with the wife. He home with the girlfriend. So yeah, Tonya and Renee, we may have physical traits that we look for, but interestingly enough, that is not the only thing that we hold fast to. Omar is saying people have their types, and through your type is what you want, it may not be what you need. Exactly. Rian, you see, that's why people go into the internet. The pond is small, and if that floats your boat, go with it.
And that's the thing.
I'm not
Listen,
down for internet love. That's just
listen.
me.
Honestly speaking, right? I don't even necessarily think our pool is small. Shoot, we live on an island. Yeah, we only got but so many people. Shoot, we know so many. Derek and I were talking about a classmate of ours from back in the day that has a husband that lives wherever they live now, and he's from wherever he lives, and they're happy. Yeah, we are not saying, they did not meet overseas. We also have a mutual friend that met someone overseas. The point is it is not about expanding your pool. It's not about going on internet love. It is just literally about one, perseverance and understanding what you will and will not tolerate. Sorry, those are two separate points. Perseverance and keep trying, your willingness to try. As my dad said, be the best version of you and keep constantly improving and learning. And three, discern from the people in your pool. Because you know what? You can leave here, go on the internet, go wherever, and you can find the same type of creature that is here. I'm talking about men and women. You think that we are human beings, yo. You think they only got bad men in Barbados? You think they only got bad women in Barbados? Horning is a professional sport in some countries. So you know what? Whether you decide to stick it out here or you decide to go overseas, the point is you have to know what is for you and discern as you go. If you see red flags, have the unsexy conversation my mother there said. If you see a red flag, question the red flag. What are we doing about this red flag? Yeah? What traumas you healing from? I remember a friend of mine, we talked about this. One of the unsexy conversations in the first 3 days got to be, so what trauma are you healing from? But the boy, you see, we scared because we want to run off this potential person. But you know what? It beats that. Then down the road, you realize, shoot, this man harmed me, this man was there, this woman this, another. It don't matter where the pool is. Be discerning. because everybody knows what's for them and everybody know what they ain't tolerating.
All right, Tanya, Terence says, Tanya, I don't know if men are chasing an ideal. Some are. I think we all do, yes. My therapist told me that maybe I need to look for different things in my partner or skip the good looks. That is a challenge. Yes, it is. Date down a bit, so I really cannot answer. Tanya says it was never about good looks. We can come to this. Tanya says you can be downright average, and if we vibe, we vibe. Tanya, you are the first woman in the history of dating, relationships, etc., to say, make that statement.
No, that's not true. I have heard.
Sorry, you're the
I've
first
actually
one
heard.
I've heard.
Okay,
Right?
because
To make that
I've
statement.
actually heard quite a few women say that.
Let me backtrack because
Looks.
yeah,
First, let me say that looks are not number one, not the priority. It is a
yeah, but
priority because at
that
the end of the
happens
day,
as women get older.
like you, let me be honest, right? Like the man still go afloat your boat, the woman still go afloat your boat in
Correct.
some form or
So
fashion.
let me deal with this a little bit. Let me touch on this a little bit. Terence was saying she had to look for different things in partners. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago in terms of do you have to kind of settle? Do you have to kind of make some compromises in terms of the things that you want from a partner or you're willing to accept? Because we talk about 237 all the time. 237 a.m. is a
Old,
real thing. And we talk about it
old,
all the time, right? And you still want to be able to, it makes no sense to hold on to these things and end up, just there.
All alone by her lonesome self.
You don't want that. You don't want that. So
yo, I can find a songboard for you tomorrow. I
please
can
do,
find that program for you, B.
right? So yeah, you don't want to end up all alone by your lonesome self because you holding on to some ideal. Um, Only today I saw an article. We can definitely have to do that about women settling for Mr. All Right as opposed to Mr. Right. You know what I mean? I think I would have sent you the link, but we
Yeah, you did,
definitely
but I didn't get a chance to look at
yeah,
it.
that was coming up to Showtime.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but we definitely got to do a little talk about that because within that article, it says the men had 3 points that would have kind of three criteria you had to meet to bring you back for a second date. Yeah, women had like 80. So you got to kind of adjust, right? Terence is saying there's no ideal, Tanya. We ain't ever finding it. And I think you got to start there. You got to recognize there is no Superman out there. There's no 100% man.
And that
Yeah,
is the point. And that is the point, Derek. The point is that men and women, we ain't gonna find it. So you know what? Everybody has to settle. When we think about settling, we talking about shoot. It's my hand, the best looking, but he's a good man, so I guess I keep it. That's not what we're talking about. The truth of the matter is we all have that perfect person in our on our brain. Looks, demeanor, income, emotional support, everything, all the leads, as my mother say. We got a person envisioned in ourselves. Yeah, we may not have an exact how she look or how he look, but we know shoot, yeah, boy, if she had like a nice chest or and behind kicking and she got a flat waist and things, she pretty in the face, she got a nice smile. Yeah, got 6 pack, chest big, strong, nice and attentive, like to listen to jazz and get a what's call it the wine and cheese festival. That is all right, but you know what? This circles back into what we were talking about tonight. This ain't a rom com. We ain't got all of a sudden see the person moving next door.
yeah, it does
So
happen.
at some point, look at me. I am sure I am not. I I would refuse to believe that a woman sees me and says, "You are the perfect man. You are exactly the man I want." Because I'm not perfect. There are things about me you will have to settle for as I work through them. I suffer from depression. That is a huge thing to deal with. Therefore, as I work on that, you have to accept that about me. You can choose to support me or not. It would be nice if you did. But the point is, when you're thinking about your ideal man having a mental illness, you don't have struggles with depression. So we gotta realize that settling's all right, We're not compromising standards. That's not what we're saying. But at some point, you gotta realize, yeah, boy, we're going good here.
Tonya saying the ideals of men have caused me to date down, as you guys would call it, and still anyone else have that experience. Tonya said there's no ideal. Tonya, we ain't ever finding it. Tonya says we know this, but they're still looking though. And here's the thing, Tonya. Maybe look. Tonya, I don't know if you want me to traumatize you again tonight.
Oh dear.
With a little bit of roughness here, but
oh dear, hold on, Tonya.
the reality is, right? The reality is, when we talk about polygyny, we can get into it. Men have more options. Men have more options.
That was a bone of contention a few weeks ago.
I know. Men have more options. So a man will always figure that, sure, I could continue to pursue. And here's the reality of it. If a man continues to work when it's his 50s, 60s, right? And he's still making an income, he keeps himself in pretty decent shape. A man at 60 years old could go with a 20-year-old if you got reasonable resources. A man at 60 years old, and shoot, the 20-year-old would gladly go with him. No, it can be frowned upon. People can look and say he's a nasty old man. People can also look and say she can't pay him money. But guess what? If he knows the game and knows the score, he knows that that's why she's there, and he just there to enjoy himself. And he will continue to do so. Ladies, as you get older, ladies, remember, 237 is real, and they don't want you to be out there on the beach standing up all years night.
Oh, the Lord, my heart long so shall.
We don't want that. So,
Yeah, the man, I
anyhow,
truly
let me
take
crack
that
on.
something wrong you.
Yes, Dion say, sorry, I started to have the date down conversation offline last week. I think it's worth a separate session. I think so too, Dion. Yes, we can talk about it because we need to differentiate between dating down and settling. Now, Blair, really, how people just think they will think the person with the experience will be the one to teach. It's just common sense. May the power of Christ compel them to keep it up, fellas. Tanya agrees with Dion about the dating down and settling conversation. Natalia, I was about to say both sexes are visual. You've got to be attracted to something from the beginning. Yes. Carry on, the so-called ideal is based on the same media and entertainment groups these guys are talking about. It is a matter of brainwashing this whole notion of the ideal we get with who makes us feel safe and valued. Facts. This is Terence agrees. Carry on, I agree with you for sure. It boils down to what you can work with and recognize if that makes you better or not based on what you know of yourself. It begins with self for sure. Tanya, I seriously don't mind looks are far from number one for me. I wouldn't want to scare small kids, but I'm definitely not stuck in them. Let me say that my reason for trying online dating is this. Men on this route have a judgment card they play once they interact with me. So I am not about to explain my perceived past to anyone. I ain't doing it. Deal with who's in front of you, not what you heard. Amen.
Who's that?
Amen. Amen. That's Terencia.
Okay.
Yeah, deal with what's in front of you. But that's a problem, Terencia. That's a problem. There are so many preconceived notions. I tell you all guys, when we first started the show, how I heard how much of a player he was, how whatless he was, and all kind of things.
Far from it.
You even heard
how
many women they had at school and all kind of thing.
Far from it.
Anybody knows me, knows they have one girlfriend all through school.
The man was my best friend at school, and I could tell you for a fact he had one woman. One.
That went the way it went. And shortly after that, I was in another long-term relationship. And after that long-term relationship, I got married. You know what I mean? So between, let me say, my dating years, my early dating years, I was a one-woman guy. Subsequent to my marriage, had some time of, being wild like spinach. But that's another story. Because the people who are bringing the information, as Teresi talked about your perceived past, they're operating on information from, how old am I? Information from 25 years ago. Information that is so inaccurate, that is amazing. Even the information that they would have gotten, let me say,
Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on there. Hold
10
on a minute,
years
man.
ago, is inaccurate.
It is inaccurate and irrelevant.
And that's Terencia's point. That perceived past is irrelevant. Irrelevant. Natalia is saying I feel like I need a shirt that says 2:37 a.m. I feel so too.
The 237 ladies. I hate
Yeah.
that. Sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry. But yeah, we can figure out saying.
Carrie Ann says she wears a small. Terencia agrees. It's medium
Wait, who
for
said
her.
that? Who said that? Is very small?
Carrie Ann. She wears a small.
Mm.
Natalia, I want to be in the crew, but
Oh.
man, I'm afraid that you will look for the pool with my unicorn self. Man. All right. Terencia, today my choice of music was Quincy Jones, the early days. Soul Bossa Nova. Yeah, man. Who am I sitting in my car listening to that? I would listen to that comfortably. But that's me. I
Me
different.
too.
Um, Tanya is bracing herself. Derek, I agree though. They do have more options. I accept that. Okay, good. Whew. So we you're not traumatized. Good. Blair says Lionel Richie 17 and pulling 30. Yeah. Derek, I hate you. Come on, man.
Well, and that's another thing. No. They're talking about when I said it to you. It's not like it's something that I it's a bad habit I have. I should not say that. But
But I'll
he's
tell you, right?
like I trying to be serious for the podcast, and he with this soundboard just cracking me up. So
Right? I'll tell you though, guys, right? I'll tell you, when we come here, we can shoot straight. We can tell you our reality, our truth.
we see it. Oh dear. Oh
But yeah,
yeah. Yep.
we can tell you our reality. We can tell you what is happening. We ain't gonna bullshit you, right? Now they don't cuss on this podcast, but they can tell you straight. We ain't gonna bullshit you. So when you come, guess what? I can shoot as straight as I can shoot with you guys. And tell you straight, this is
Way
what it
it is
is.
from our perspective. And
Yeah,
again, that's important to note from our perspective. And when we say our, we mean our interactions with men on the court, barbershop, gym, they're in a singing group,
right.
cricket, all of these spaces, limes,
Correct.
we have had
All
these
over the world
conversations.
are other places, right? All over the world are other places. This is how men see it, right? So we can come, I can tell you where it is, right? Rian, but that 20-year-old would only want money. And that's fine. That's fine. Because check it, right?
Man know the score.
I am set. I started teaching very early, right? So 33 and a 30 years of teaching. I will retire within the next 10 to 15 years, right? If I work to 65, whatever, that's a different story. But if I retire, let me say I work to 65 just for the fun of it, right? I work 65, 67, and I get my pension, and I got some money to trick for some young girls. If you like, shoot, if I come and I hook up with a woman now that's 20 years old, and I am 50 plus, no, granted, I intended to be sexiest 50-year-old in Barbados, but if
Not
I
before
got,
me. Not before me.
you gotta get there before me.
Sexiest bar member.
That's sorry, right? But if I get if I pull in a woman that's 20 and he's 55, 60, I gotta know her school keeping, and I will enjoy it for as long as I can enjoy it. And when she done, cool. On to the next. I can't be pretend now that I coming to fall in love with somebody that's my daughter age. Nah, wasting time.
And I want to point out, right? See how my man Derek said he don't believe in the online dating and falling in love from a distance? I do not believe when I am 50, 60, I am spending a lot of money on a young girl. If you can roll me, you're trying the love thing. I ain't looking for a good time. I
Well,
got
At 60, I would be looking for a good time. You know what I mean? So, but that's your perspective. This is mine.
I was just about to say, at 60, I'm hoping to be married. We know where you could be at 60.
You know? Yeah. Let's crack on, right? Carry on, sister. That 20-year-old could really be looking for a safety/father figure. Many people date for security and provision. Often seen many young women date much older men. They are filling the void of a healthy father figure they may not have had. Or she be trying to get some money. She could be. Either one works for me when they're 60, 65. You know what I mean? Philip is enjoying the sound effects. Hopefully we can have them really perking for you in future
better on the
episodes.
chat. Yep.
Yeah, Dion, Violet Spinach that entertains her. Tanya is saying my well notes were sown. No, they were not. They were not. I enjoyed my life between 28 and let's say I want to say about 34 or so. But since then I've kind of gone a different path. Omar is saying the whole life chose us. Terence is saying it's irrelevant to you. But these men come with that BS and I am like, just go. As you should, Terencia, if you can't, and you said, Terencia, that you're 50, you can't come and, you can't be taking on stress at 50.
Oh, shit.
Long and short. But clearly this is what I have missed.
I don't read that. Claudia said 28 and no, Derek.
Man, why you talking all about my business? Why you talking all about my business?
Them is shots.
But anyhow, let me get back to what I was telling Terencia.
Right. Sorry.
I can understand now your reasoning for wanting to do the online dating thing. I get it. It's cool. And if that's your option, and that you choose to exercise in terms of you pursuing your happiness, do you, boo. Do you. Because, again, everybody want to be happy. Everybody want to be happy. And again, at 2:37 a.m., I don't want you to be
really happy.
I don't want you, I don't want that for you. We are social people. We want to be up to somebody, you throw your leg over somebody and somebody give you that little nudge and I say, you sleeping? Everybody know what I mean at 2:37 in the morning. You up? You know what I mean? Everybody know what I mean. So if at 50, shoot, and the clock ticking, you're gonna tend to be wasting it with people that, as you say, got one thing in the brain and perceptions going on. Bump that, do you? Yes, Derek was saying a man can find a woman at any age, but a woman can't. But that young girl he finds isn't looking for a husband, and when his act is over, he will be alone again, looking for another young girl to show his ego. Yes, I will be. Yes, I will be. I ain't even faking the moves. I ain't even faking the moves with you, Ariane. Yes, I will be. Because guess what? By 65, if they're in a movement, I may wake it, and I just want you to come and hold it and shake it. When she get tired of that, if your money run short or whatever, she go long. A big thing to me, you know what I mean? It's cool, like find some boys to come hold it and shake it. Yeah, but I ain't pretending. I ain't trying to pretend that some girl that is younger than my daughter gonna be looking to fall in love with me because she in love, and that ain't got absolutely nothing to do with my pension fund. Nah, I would never be so naive to believe that. And ladies, recognize it. If you get a young boy that coming by you better make sure you got a PlayStation there. Make sure you got a PlayStation in the house for when this young boy come over.
ESPN.
PlayStation, some good Wi-Fi.
And sports.
And a little cheap car that you could drive boat. But understand, understand that when the fella take a you little car that you give the drive boat, the gun do he thing, you might gotta be prepared to with the fact that he might not come back there that night. It can be you and a young girl. Just saying, just keeping it real. Yeah. So he might come, he might beat your back a little bit. Ladies, as you get, as you get a little bit more seasoned and you progress in age, don't let these young boys come for you, let them practice up putting you in these funny positions, and then you're in QEH and traction. You understand? Don't do it. Don't do it. All right? Let the young boy know, look, I can handle this position, that position, my needs is conquer in this position. Let him know up front. Enjoy it. Stick and move. Stick and move. And guess what? Accept that for where it is. Take it for where it is. Enjoy it while it lasts. Because at 237, I don't want you to be what?
All alone by her Lord so self.
I don't want it. Yeah, I want the best for one of them happy. Yeah.
All
right, let me backtrack a little bit. Renee is asking if I'm making Teresia an offer. No already. Yes, Teresia says no already. Toya, what that is what he's saying. Steve, what I haven't heard you guys touch on is the benchmark some people set based on the lives of others or social pressure. Example, they're going to be married by 30, house kids, aka the sweet life combo.
Yes.
That's keeping up with the Joneses.
Thing. Yep, especially in this day and age where you have Instagram. I know for sure there's one classmate of ours that I follow on Instagram, and to me he has like the perfect life in terms of family. He has his children, his wife. He is, again, understand that Instagram only shows you what they want you to see. Be good. But still, I look at him and I say, that's what I would want, like to have the wife, children, everything.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to be seriously, people, like you come in.
I probably said we're so bored here tonight, right? Anyhow, Kerry, I say both parties are seeking something both consciously and subconsciously from each other. Toya has a notebook out. Derek say on to the next cackle. Rian, but who say he can't pull a young boy at 62? It would just be a cougar. You would just be a cougar. Embrace that. You could be I want you to say the Jamaican horse, a cougar, a jaguar. You could be every guy.
Shout out my girl, Carrie Ann. Shout out my girl, Carrie Ann.
You could be cougar, jaguar, every guy, right?
Already blood clot. She come call ugly.
Yeah, all right then. Wait. I sure got some Jamaican boy here.
Bombo clot.
Yeah. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Yeah. Teresia, they want to be in love. Look, what do they say?
No, hold on a minute. Teresia, we are two different men. We may agree on a lot, almost exclusively. I don't mean we agree on everything. My man had his experiences. He has been married already. I have not.
Yep.
I may very well end up to be like him whenever that time comes, and God forbid it fails. But the point remains is that the end of the decision about what he bought and not about what he bought. However, within that context, we know what we are tolerating and what we want.
Correct. Oh Lord, Natalia. Oh dear. I said
hey, shout out Natalia, the original 237.
The original 237 lady. It could be you or your daddy comfortable, so options always open. Either way, both sexes got options.
Natalia, you pushing this rhetoric here very often. You got some white daddy line up, or what?
It sounds so. I got to keep my eye on you and my father because he's a different kind of guy. Yes, Omar says that Teresia has to be telling lies when she says she's 53. Yeah, I know that she is, so she is 53.
But you got to understand. Yeah, you see there, and I know we've been around so because we like the calypso social commentary, so we quite understand where. No, not TC. I mean, you look real good for your age, but yeah.
Teresia says put some respect on her age. Yes, The reality is, I don't like this ideology that after a certain age, a woman cannot be attractive anymore, cannot date, and we have no choice but to find a man by a certain. No, no, okay, hold on, hold the phone.
You go ahead. You take it. You take it.
At all, that women have no options for dating. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. However, I am saying that you will have to readjust your scope a little bit in terms of what you're looking for and what you're expecting out of the relationships you get into. Because a guy that looking to marry, a guy 35 looking to marry, start his own family is not looking for a woman that's 50 years old. That's just a reality. Right? We got somebody in this chat who said that their experience was they were dating somebody younger, they wanted that person, they got into the relationship, that they said to the person, shoot, I can't give you children. If you're young, I can't give you children. That's off the table for me. It was cool. It was no problem. And then it turned into a case where, hey, I want children though. So,
A lot of player when you see him in the streets.
yeah, I know that they're left to pick up the pieces. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying you don't have options to dating, but definitely in terms of like, looking to start family, etc., you can go readjust your score if you're looking to do that, right?
Yeah, men have more options. We're not saying that women don't. We just have more.
Yeah. Right. Carry on. Reality is something else, and I've been hearing it in many circles lately. Derek Peltway, that sound effect.
No. I personally am going to find a way to integrate a soundboard and his sounds into this podcast. It's going to be tricky, but I'm going to get it done.
We can get it done.
Because the mugs.
Tony say even when you're attractive mentally, you are considered over the hill by a lot of men. Yeah, that's just what it is. Oh Lord, Natalia again X-rated. Tony say see what he said 28. Terence is checking out Hold It and Shake It. Yeah. Omar is everybody's talking about PlayStation Life.
Yeah, PlayStation Life for life.
Tanya might have to retire the dog. Yumishi and 3 other young girls. Shoot, correct. That's the reality of it. You know, we're working with accept the reality of life. Shoot, I over the hill at 60, 65. I'm looking to get married on that, so that's it.
You're here for a good time, not a long
time. You know what I mean? The rest is talking about traction life. Tony is saying the daddies ain't say play when the daddies. That's how they're saying when it is too gypsy. Yeah. Yeah. We've gone on. We've gone over the time. And I didn't even get into the last 2 points.
I was just about to say that. I know. I'm pretty sure you didn't cover all of them.
Yes, we can look back at that. We can touch back on those on Thursday. Because clearly there's a lot of stuff that we got coming out of this. Last time we ran for 3 hours. I don't want to do that again tonight. So.
Nah. I hungry.
Yeah, so.
I hungry. But again, everybody, thank you very much for the discourse. I do hear you guys about the generalization, and to be honest, I don't like generalizations either. I do need to check that. But sometimes I may slip up, and if I do, just understand I don't mean every woman, particularly those that when my Bob got a song, who the cat fit, let them wear it. Simple, right? But I will try my best to not generalize in future. As I say, I get hype. I literally have people messaging me telling me fix my face and don't get too angry and whatever like that. So yeah, a menace to society there is no without them sound effects.
It's
but yeah, thank you very much.
About a 2:37 a.m. hashtag how you doing t-shirt.
We can work on saying, you see, we got ideas, we got scope. Obviously, they're going to take money and investment. So we're just trying to build the community, see what opportunities are out there. We really do believe that we're onto something because we literally have men that would not ordinarily engage us, messaging to us about certain things. And Derek shared a story with one of our classmates. He engages Derek on some matters that I never knew. Like this guy, I probably can remember saying all the 20 words during my time around him, right? And so it gives us, we understand that we're on to something. We understand that these conversations ain't gonna be easy. There will be moments where we will not agree. I can get upset because I am the more there is a calm person. And,
he's the emotional one.
yeah, I am the one where I just gotta tell it kind of raw and wriggling, right? But basically, as Derek said, being in BSU on this show, we really do want your input and your engages. If you check us, you realize we saying or having an opinion that don't make sense, voice your opinion. We will always be willing to listen to it, challenge us. But at the end of the day, understand that we are coming of not only our experiences, but those of all of the men, of all the different ages that aged over the years. So, and likewise, I'm sure some women are like that too. Yeah. So, I hope you all bring your friends next time. Thanks so much for engaging us. Thank you so much for staying up with us and everything like that. And Derek, you any closing words? Other than the normal.
Yeah, guys, just check out the platform. You can follow us, the Senate Podcast 246 on IG. Follow us here on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube as well. We're gonna upload the stuff. We got an email address if you want to send any potential topics or anything like that. You can send it to senateinsession@gmail.com. You can send them there as well. You guys that message me individually, continue to do that. We don't mind. And we try to keep it engaging. So go ahead, give us a follow. Keep coming through. As Neil says, bring your friends. And let's continue to build the community. And as usual, be the best version of you for you. We will see you guys on Thursday. We'll finish talking about this. And obviously, we'll get into some more talk surrounding this whole discussion. It was pretty interesting today. So, yeah, we'll see you guys on Thursday.
All right. Peace and love, everybody.
Laters.
So don't wait back for me. I wanna see if we got good chemistry.